Hey, people ask me, what do you do when you don't get collections in after a while? Because unlike 10, 15 years ago, um, collections are harder and harder to find. Really good ones are getting nearly impossible. Um, because in the past, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, people sold them at garage sales. So if, say, somebody's dad, who was a record collector, passed away, the kids usually just sold the stuff in a garage sale. Or in the past, when the parents were downsizing their record collections, or moving into a smaller home and didn't want to take the records with them, uh, the kids weren't interested in them. So they would end up in garage sales, or they would come into a record store and say, "Hey, do you want to buy my collection?" Now kids say, "No, I want those," and so they don't end up going out into places like here. So um, I got lucky in the fact that back in the 1990s and early 2000s, when people weren't really into records that much, um, I bought heavily. Um, that was before I had a store. I was just a hoarder. But what I did was I would take a lot of the good stuff, I would put it in the collection, box of stuff up, and stick it in storage. And I've toted those around with me over the years. And there's no real gold in there, as say, like I'm not going to be pulling out any, you know, copies of Nirvana records or 1990s pressings, because that stuff I would have already pulled out. And so this stuff is a lot of bread and butter, things that in the past, like say 10 years ago or so, wouldn't have been worth me putting out in the store even. Things like, for example, last two copies of Tracey Chapman's record I got out of these boxes. Um, and that's because 10 years ago, Tracey Chapman's record, although it was harder to find, wouldn't sell. Even if I stuck it at $5, it wouldn't have sold. And so I would just stick it in there. And there's even cases of, like copies of Rumors. Rumors was a bargain bin record. But since sort of the resurgence of vinyl and people starting their collections again, it's become something that's fairly desirable. So what I'm going to go do is show you guys my honey hole, as it would be, although there's nothing really fantastic. Although, I've said that. I've also pulled out a Dorothy Ashby record because 15 years ago when I bought the collection, I didn't know about Dorothy Ashby. And I pulled out a prestige copy that I ended up selling for like $700. Yeah, so I'll take you down and show you the honey hole. It's actually just the crawl space under my store. I used to have storage units, and instead of paying for those, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna put it all down in the crawl space. It's dry. I don't have to worry about mold or anything like that. It's in fairly nice shape. So I'll show you down there, and then I'll drag a couple of boxes up, and we'll sort of go through and see. And maybe I'll do this on a regular basis. Hopefully not, because I'll get collections that it makes it so that I don't have to go down there. But next week I'm a little thin for records, so I'm just gonna go pull a box up right now. All right, bye. Okay, we'll throw a light on here. So that's the furnace room. There's the new furnace that I bought. That little box of steel cost me over $5,000. It was awesome. So yeah, that little ominous hatch, which if the end of the world comes, I'm probably going to hide down there with my family, opens up, and there are some steps down into the crawl space. Now I'm just going to show you what it looks like down here, because I'm not going to be able to pull a box out of here with one hand. There's a lot more down here than just records. Ugh. And the lighting is not the best, but you get the idea. That's all records back there. There's some boxes of toys and stuff. Wow, yeah, Jay, you didn't think this out in terms of lighting wise. But there's more boxes of records, soundtracks, other stuff. It keeps going. I don't know how far. You know what? we'll go all the way back here. Why not? But it is dry in here. You know, so, oh, there's another thing. That side, which is equally as long as this side, has mostly toys and other stuff that, you know, I bought over the years. And there's furniture pieces and things down here too. Let's see if we can go turn on the light back here and get a better look at stuff. Where did that light go? It doesn't really help a lot. Oh yeah, and then there's these, which I've toted with me. I don't know if you can see this. So there's probably several hundred cardboard rolls filled with promotional posters from, I used to trade with I used to be a record label rep for a period of time in my life for one of the major labels. And so yeah, I had lots of promo posters and things like that. And we used to get together with the other label reps and trade. So there's all kinds of stuff in there, which at some point I'm going to get around to probably digging out and selling. So yeah. Oh, if you hear that I'm out of breath, it's because I am. I'm getting over a cold. So yeah, this is it. So there's boxes and boxes and boxes of records here. I have another spot that's also filled with boxes and boxes of records. What I'll do is I'll just sort of, you know what, I'll show you down here too. Why not? Okay, so that goes down there. That's near the front there too, just boxes. This is toys and other stuff. And then down there, there's more. So you kind of, oh, are those? Yeah, some of those are record boxes too. So you get an idea that I've got some stock. Now, like I said, none of this stuff I don't think is going to be like great in any of this, although occasionally it does happen. Most of this is just bread and butter stuff. So I'll pull a couple of boxes out and we'll go through it and give you an idea. Try not to break anything on my way out here. But I'm not going to be able to do that with one hand, so I'm going to have to turn this off. So we'll see you up top. Okay, so I managed to drag out 4 boxes, and these are just random picks. There's nothing like, you know, special about them. I just grabbed them, and let's go through and see what we've got. Some of this stuff probably will get donated, I imagine. But that's all right. Mel Buck's the producers. I get a lot of people who actually do buy soundtracks, so I always try and bring out some new stuff in. Burning Sensations. That's 3 Dog Night, and it's got the playing cards with it, which is kind of neat. Bowie's Let's Dance. Duran Duran's Arena. Stephen Stills solo record. Peter Gabriel. Oh, that's kind of cool. Bessie Smith story. Some of these have prices on them. Obviously, at some point, I've tried to sell them and they haven't worked, so they went back into storage. Frank West. It's on Mainstream. Jay White Street Scenes, another jazz piece. Another copy of Arena. That's kind of handy. Susie Quattro. Wet Willie. Rocky Horror, Blondie, and that's got the little hype sticker on there. It's kind of cool. We got Boomtown Rats. I don't know what that is. It says small Canadian label on it, so it's probably an indie piece. Culture Club, yeah, that's more like it. Oh, hey, Joni Mitchell's Lady of the Canyon. I had somebody asking for that last week, and I didn't have it in, so that's kind of nice. Miles of Isles, another Joni Mitchell. She just did her Grammy appearance a week ago. Bud Shank, it's on Pacific. Byron Lee and the Dragonaires, like, that is some funky disco reggae right there. Sarah Vaughan, Chubby Checker. Oh, this is such a good record. This George Benson's The Other Side of Abbey Road. I know a lot of people, George mentioned is one of the most respected guitar players, but I think in terms of like the general population, most people aren't too familiar with George's work, and this is a masterpiece. It's like him doing covers of obviously Beatles tracks, and it is so good. I mean, it's just is a great thing. And then look at that, Steppenwolf with the penis mobile gatefold. Awesome. So, you know, not, like I said, bread and butter, not like the best stuff in the world, but just interesting. And the fact that I can, you know, like I said, when, although I do have a lot of records clean and ready to go at this point, this will be for the next couple of weeks. Rick Nelson, Madonna. For some reason, I've just got a ton of Madonna lately. Who's that girl? Oscar Pettiford. Marlene Dietrich. Look at that. That's hilarious. The Ventures. Oops. Chubby Checker. The Union Gap and Shrink. Elvis. Yeah, see, that's what a lot of this stuff would be. There's Styx. Tula Clark. It's like a rock and roll combination. Hen Gates and his Gators. It's hilarious. So yeah, some of this stuff, Bobby Bear, some country, some of this stuff will be ending up just going. Southside Johnny and the Ashbury Jukes. Chris Connor on Atlantic. More country. You know what, I'm going to pull a few of these out so I can flip through it a little easier. Maharishi, Yogi, spoken word. Ruddles or Roodles, depending on how you say it. Kenny Rogers, The Inmates, Rappy. Oh, look at that. You've got like Fabian on there and Frankie Valli, and yeah, there's more Fabian. Believe it or not, people do buy that from me every so often. Happy Banjos Play the Beatles. I wonder what that sounds like. Wings Greatest Hits. Joey D. The Wings, Venus and Mars, but it's got all the posters and stickers on it. That's kind of good. London Town. See, yeah, here. There's like this album. Years ago, I couldn't have sold this thing at $5, and now it's one that I get asked for probably on a weekly basis. So that'll be going out at some point. Oh, yeah, by the way, anybody who's coming to the store, this stuff probably won't be going out for a couple of weeks. Don't expect to walk into the store and find this Donovan. This is a great record. I mean, Donovan sort of gets written off, which is sad because his later stuff was great. Gang of Four, that's nice. I don't even think I have that in my collection. I might have to take that one for myself. Grace Jones. Upsetters, Disco Bum. There you go. Also from the Super Ape from the Upsetters. That's kind of interesting. Yuma Sumac. Looks like Exotica there. The Wilburn Brothers on King. That's some good, good folky country there. I never am able to say this right, but Asibisa, which I think that's a Roger Dean cover, which is kind of great. BT Express. Night with the Voodoo Family. Don Tracy, that seems a little, I don't know. Oh, actually, that's really cool. Look at this. If you're into surf music, this is got some good stuff on there, like the Markets, the Champs, the Routers, Bumblebee and the Stingers, the Fireballs. A lot of those bands were basically studio bands in the end. Like their records are actually recorded by, God, what's the name of the famous studio group that I'm totally blanking out on? It'll come to me in a bit. But yeah, basically they were like studio musicians who basically recorded the bands for them. Elvis, Kissing Cousins. That's just a weird title. Dueling Banjos. There you go. It's weird that you would have Kissing Cousins and then Dueling Banjos right after it with clearly a person who kissed their family, kissed their cousins too many times. Herman's Hermits. Precious Wilson, Eruption. There's some funky disco. Look at that. I wonder where those outfits are now. What is that? Voyage Souvenirs. Not gonna lie, I don't know what it is, but it's on marble vinyl. Pete Townsend, the Osmond Brothers. This is early in their career because this is like before they became the Osmonds. They were the Osmond brothers. Is that Donnie? Huh, funny. Johnny Nash. What is that? It's another Townsend record. Oh no, it's the Who. Some Nat Cole, more Nat Cole, Melba Moore, Saxy, Tommy Dorsey with Sinatra, Foreigner, Edgar Winters, Supertramp, Nitty Gritty. Wow, oh that's kind of cool. How to guard against a heart attack. You always got to watch those heart attacks. They'll just sneak up and jump on you. Yeah, okay. So again, you know, nothing crazy, but just bread and butter stuff. And there must be like literally like hundreds of these liquor boxes down there filled with this stuff. So let's flip this around and see if it's the right way. Pull a stack of these out just to make flipping easy. Because flipping ain't easy, though. Some Fats Domino. These look like UK imports. Oh, that's such a good album. The Higher Players. All these album covers are awesome too. You fold outs. Crystallier. The reason I remember actually getting this, the reason why I bought this was I just joined the fire department, so I thought it was hilarious because they're on fire for Jesus. But this shock for me was who produced it? Daniel Lanois was the engineer on this, and I guess this was recorded at the studio that they had in Hamilton. Yeah, Grant Avenue Studios. So I mean, you think about Daniel Lanois and all the amazing bands he's worked with. Well, that's how he started out. Comedy record, Beatles concert, classical, quadraphonic, great songs of the Beatles, Lighthouse. Hey, people keep asking me for that. Triumph, J.J. Cale, Creedence record. Bud Freeman, that's like a 10-inch. Let's pull some more out of here. This one and see. The 5, Leo Frere, Benny Hill, Beach Boys, Clapton. I don't need to keep saying this. You guys can just read them all, but you know, it's like Britain. Well, that one even has an old Value Village. Remember when Value Village only charged $2.99 for records? My God. Rod Stewart. And we'll do what's in here. Elton John, Jim Croce. No idea. Smothers Brothers, Neil Diamond, Gary Buck. Some country stuff in here. Irby Green. Dancing Western Canadian Style. Classic. A few country. Chet Atkins, more country. I don't know, King though. I usually find that King label is great for like kind of funky, like because James Brown started there on King. But some good sort of old-timey country. Phil Collins, Tony Hatch. Some Klaatu. Whiskey Hollow. Some Moody Blues. And then we'll do this last one, which is over here. Yeah, so probably a few of these I'm going to end up donating because I just know they're not worthwhile. That's kind of cool. Paul Horn and India Ragas for the flute and vina and violin. And that's on Moral Pacific. That actually is something I might be interested in. Buddy Holly, Ennio Morricone, the Straubs, Foreigner, Elton John. Not sure who that is. Simon and Garfunkel. Hey, look, it's Lulu. Cars' Greatest Hits. And, you know, see, these were things that, like, probably nowadays I wouldn't bother buying a lot of this. But when you buy a big collection, often the person's like, you got to take it all. So you just sort of do. Crack the Sky. I don't know what that is. Wireless. I believe those were Canadian. Oh, there's something. Why does it say listen? Cannonball Adderley. Sound Effects Records. Santo and Johnny. I don't have that Santo and Johnny. Barry White. Grassroots. UFO. All right. So, yeah, there's some stuff. But, you know, when you do have to sort of take them all, you know, you just sort of pull out the really good stuff in the past, keep what I wanted for my collection, sell the rest, or just stick it in, if I couldn't sell it, just stick it into storage if I thought it was, you know, slightly better than giveaway type thing. Emmy Lou, Sonny Stitt, wow, that's all right. Little Richard, Jimmy Buffett, Alvin Bishop, Del Reeves, Alvin Bishop again. Becker Brothers, Chuck and a Bear, nice. It's the inner sleeve of Some Girls. That's not the edited out one either, so see that? Richard Pryor. Oh, God bless Richard. Funniest man. Oh, nice. Carter Family, early recording. Adam Faith. American copy of The Shadows. Kinsman. R.J. White. Gladys Knight. Yeah, so that's it. So basically that just gives you an idea of sort of what I do have in storage. And like I said, when every so often when I'm bored or I haven't got much in to go with to put out, because I try to put out 30 to 50 new vintage pressings a week. And so up here they go in the store. And some of you are familiar, I put one of these This Just In videos out once a week type thing. There's my better half choking to death in the background. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you guys a show because people have asked. And I actually showed another dealer the other day down in the crawl space, and he was like, you're gonna outlive all this, you realize. And he's probably not wrong. So there you go. That's my little sort of, honey hole. It's not filled with the best stuff, but it certainly ain't that bad. All right, talk to you later.